time, weather.
Now for the Forge Podcast. Question for you. What's the power of your testimony if it's never shared? This is the Forge Podcast. Taffee Brunel.
Yes.
Welcome to the Forge Podcast.
Thank you.
Great to have you here.
It's good to be here.
Yeah, well, Forge is obviously men's ministry here at Scottsdale Bible Church, and I've been excited to do this little mini series of the wives of Forge.
Okay.
Because I think, we get great testimonies from the men, but there's to take it a step further, to hear what the Lord is doing in a man's life. You really want to get the full picture. And going to the wives is really, you can really kind of round out that picture of what the Lord's doing. And so I thought, man, what a great little mini series to interview wives of guys at the Forge and what that's meant. So
cool.
Welcome.
Well, I'm happy to be here to share my insight of what I've experienced. So.
Yeah. So introduce. I think everybody at SBC knows who Taffee Brunel is, but for the 3 or 4 people that don't, introduce yourself. You introduced us to SBC.
I did. Yes. Gosh, when was that? When Megan and I met. Gosh, when the girls were in kindergarten, which would have been in. Was that like 2016, maybe? I can't even remember. 2015. I don't even know.
2017, 20. I don't know.
I don't know, but all I knew is I saw Meg and you at the orientation. I was like, gosh, I got to become friends with them. Yeah. And then got to know Meg and invited her to SBC. I think we went to a Grace-Based Woman was our first Bible study together. Okay. So,
my thing is, people always ask, how'd you get to know SBC? I'm like, well, day one of kindergarten for our daughter, and all of a sudden we're meeting all these Christian people at a public school. I'm like, is this normal? And then you introduced us to SBC. You said, hey, we go there. We're like, oh, we'll go there too.
We've had such a fantastic experience with our family of transformation that, and that when I first met you guys was right in the beginning of all of that. Yeah. So it was like, I just had to share and was like, I need everyone else to be able to experience what the Lord can do. So it was like, come to this church, join us. So,
yeah, awesome. Yeah. So, introduce yourself.
Well, I'm Taffee Brunel. I am, about to be 43 in August. Oh, gosh. Yes, everyone, that is my age. It's fantastic. Been married to my husband Chris is so much better at knowing our anniversary than I am.
Should we call him? Chris, real quick.
So, we've been married for, I think it's in 2008 was when we got married. So I think that's 17 years this September. And we have 2 kids, Cheyenne and Dylan. Cheyenne is 13 and Dylan is 10. And we're just trucking along trying to figure out the ins and outs of raising a teenager and tween and all this stuff.
Yeah. Interesting how they change.
Gosh, I know. I really feel like we were just sending our oldest kids into kindergarten and they were these small little 5-year-old children. And now it's like they have all these opinions and the things are changing and all the stuff. And I'm like,
talk back.
They talk back.
No, you're not. You don't do that.
I know. And it's like we've moved into that phase of like, you're no longer just like the disciplinarian. You're like training them up to be like, to leave the home and how to be independent and spread their wings. And so it's a lot different level of parenting we're doing now. So.
Something the Lord's working on my heart is giving my kids to Him.
Yeah.
It's not as imperative for the 8-year-old and the 10-year-old, even though it is. But Charlie at 13, he's like, she's my daughter. You have to trust that I have her best interest in mind. That's a unique thing to walk through because you're like, well, but I'm here. I'm Dad. I'm here every day. It's like, but man, how much better he is at doing that. So that's been an interesting phase to walk through. The Lord's just saying, you got to trust me.
Yeah. Yeah, because
she's my daughter too.
He knows better than we ever will, right?
100%.
And having to continually remind ourselves, like there is nothing that we could ever provide for them that he can't have better than. Right. So it's like learning. It's like I know I've talked to you a lot about the practice of like surrender, and I can tell you that life that I've experienced of learning how to let go of myself and surrender to the Lord, it's like I feel like that's almost easier to do than it is to like here, now you can have my kids. No. Yeah.
I also think it's the first time I'm thinking this, kind of thinking this out real time. The Lord, if we didn't understand how to surrender ourselves to him, we wouldn't know how to surrender our kids to him.
Right. Yeah.
And so I think it just chronologically, it's like, oh, thank you, Lord. Like looking back, it's like we had to first learn that surrender of ourselves to him to be able to then surrender our children to, because he was faithful in caring for us when we said, okay, God, I surrender this, that we're like, oh, we can look back and say, oh, I can trust God that he does have their best interest in mind because he had mine.
Yeah, exactly. It's like that. I always, whenever you think about looking back to like all the glory that God did in your life, or looking back to what he did, I always think of, like, I remember Jamie preaching about this, I don't know, it was a while ago, about the altar stone of like when the Israelites crossed over the Jordan and they said, no, bring back your altar stone. I remember him talking about how he has like this stone in his office, and he goes back and he remembers the times when God was faithful. And it's like, and to bring back your generations, to remind them of all that has been done. I'm like, that just helps me remember, like, I have like things that I can go back to remember. Okay, God, you were that faithful then. You can be faithful with my kids. You can be faithful in these things that are hard. Yeah. Yeah.
So my biggest question, what has the Forge meant to you? Chris and I are table leaders together. I was at his table first. And then he asked me to help co-lead with him. But let me just start with that question. Yeah. What has the Forge meant to you and your family? And you can take that however you want.
Yeah. The Forge has been pivotal for our family, because I will tell you, before
hold on. I think it's Forge.
Forge?
Now. I think they've dropped the. No, I said it. I said the Forge.
Oh.
It is no longer the Forge. So I'm like, wait a second. Robert's gonna kill me for like.
Forge has really changed the trajectory for our family, because it has allowed my husband to step up in a leadership way, and then it has actually changed the way that he leads our home. And I don't even know if I would say the way he leads our home is, the best way to say it is, I don't know if he really knew what it meant to lead before that. And I don't know how much of anyone that knows his story. I think he's kind of maybe shared like a pace setter thing recently with Forge. When we first met, we were not believers.
Oh yeah, by the way, I was like, Chris, incredible. He did such an incredible job.
He did.
Of thinking through, eloquently speaking. I mean, it was incredible. Yeah. Even in that, I said, you can see the growth. Yeah. In him spiritually. That was one of those stones. Yeah. Place that. That was a moment that it's like, yes. And I had seen parts of that, different little stones in the last 6-8 months, and that was a cool capstone to, I think, the beginning of this season for him, of really stepping in.
Yeah. Yeah, it's getting up there and sharing like what exactly I think that was like a place of testimony for him, to be able to like really sit with the Lord and look back and see all that he had been doing. Because like, you know, like I said, like we didn't grow up believers, and I actually was came to know the Lord about 3 years, maybe 2-3 years before he did. And once he did come to know the Lord, it's like he surrendered his life, but then it was like he didn't really know what that looked like, which I think that happens with a lot of us. It's, okay, what does it like to walk with the Lord? And he did that, but didn't really know what it meant to then step up and lead the family. And I would say it wasn't until like he joined Timothy, and then Mike Terlizzi encouraged him, hey, step out in leadership and lead a table and Forge, that he started learning, oh, this is what that looks like. And I started specifically seeing him change as a place that I always cry, a place that I could lean into and follow leading when I didn't really ever feel like I could do that much before. Right. And the Forge, I feel like, really set the tone for him to learn how to do that. It's okay. No tissues.
Yeah, I apologize for not having it. He's like, oh, don't worry about it.
You should know. I mean,
but for men, I'm like, I didn't think we'd. But
it's okay.
You sure? I can run down and grab something.
I'm good.
It's an equipping place. Yeah. Whether you know it or not, by following, just being obedient to the Lord and being disciplined in going. I've seen that in my own life. There were times I was just watching a podcast the other day that we did here, and I think it was Matt Groby. And I'm like, the Lord says keep going. I'm like, why? Like, he's like, you don't need to know the why right now.
Yeah.
And there was one time I walked in and no one was at our table, and I turned and walked out. I confess this even on that last podcast. Like, my attitude was terrible.
Yeah.
But I'm like, Lord, nobody's even showing up. He's like, I don't care if nobody going forward after my little disobedience and walking out. He's like, I don't care if nobody shows up. I need you to just go and be obedient to showing up, and we'll figure out what you learn later. And break the chair. I could definitely do without that. Anyway, sorry. I think that's incredible.
Yeah, it's
I've seen it with him.
It's amazing because I have this like place where I know I can, if I'm like struggling in scripture or something has just got me tangled, like Chris is now one that I can like go to first and be like, hey, like, what do you think about this? And we can like have good like spiritual conversations. When, I mean, I think you would probably say like when you first met Chris, like it was that wasn't really something that was a strength of his. It was like he was just, you know, kind of trying to figure it all out, which we all still are. We do that our whole lives. But I feel like there's just this level of confidence that Forge has brought to him because it's taught him, okay, this is how I show up. This is how I be a leader for men. And then also how I can then show up for my family, which I will say, honestly, when he first wanted to start doing it, I was kind of like, oh, man, like...
Start doing what?
Forge. It's
okay.
like, you were going to be gone Tuesday nights, another night, and I have this, and, you know, I need you home with the girls, and of course, the whole flesh in me gets all worked up, but now it's like when he starts having those moments of doubt of like, oh, I just don't know if I want to go tonight, like, no, you need to go. Like, you know how good this is for everybody and for us and your relationship.
Right. So. What would you say to... guys out there that their wives are trying to get them to go, or even to wives that have nudged but that there's no progress, to get them to check out the Forge or to come, and there's something about, Jason says it, just community of men. Being around that is of Christian like-minded men. There's nothing else like that.
I would say, like you said, there is nothing else like it. You know, I think that having community of men, women, whatever you're with, that it creates a place for you of vulnerability and accountability. And I'm not a man. I can't say this is how most men feel, but I can say, speaking with my husband and knowing how Chris is, he would often feel like, well, I'm the only one that's experiencing this. Like, this is hard. And, you know, learning how to like provide for our family and trust in the Lord. Like, when he was doing it on his own, it's like he just felt alone. But then being able to step out and have men to be accountable to him and to be honest and real with, kind of released that place of like feeling like, oh, I'm the only one. And I would say, from my experience, having him have men that he can, like, if he's in a place of like struggle, he knows exactly who he's calling. You know, you're the one he's calling, Joe. You, Steve. Hey, like, I need prayer. Like, I'm struggling with this. And you guys are right there for him. And that community is like, just breeds Jesus. That's fellowship. That is the Holy Spirit. That is the church coming to life. And having him do that brings breath in our home. It changes everything, because then we have Chris, who's then willing to humble himself and be like, look, I don't have it all together, but I know that I have people that can join me, has been huge.
So let me back up. I have a question for you. You commented on how Chris has become the leader. How do you as women want us to lead you as men, as righteous men in marriage, in fatherhood, in relationship?
The word that just keeps coming to mind is humble. Being humble to life and what life throws at them. I can say having a husband who I can look to as a leader is because he's willing to recognize where he has fallen short and speak into that, and we can pray together on that. If I'm struggling for things, he is openly communicating with me, and we can talk through it. And he points me to Jesus always.
Okay, but if I, as the husband, if I don't see that yet,
yeah, just from my experience, I can speak from my experience, and from my experience, from what I had to what I have now, and from what I had and who Chris was before he knew the Lord, he was stuck in his ways. All he really cared much about was himself and what worked for him. And he tried to be, he was kind to me, but his number one agenda was what's good as a Brunel for me.
Right.
And that's how he operated. And once he began his relationship with Jesus and started reading the word and got into Forge, he started learning, okay, how does Jesus do it? What's the best way that I can love my wife and my kids from a way that Jesus would call me to do that? And I can tell you from what I see now in him, he does that. I mean, sure, he's not perfect. Like, he messes up sometimes. But I would say, 80% of the time, I have that in Chris.
Yeah.
And it's because he listens. He doesn't try and change me. He always says, I don't know if he's ever done this to you. We'll start a conversation, and he goes, is it about the nail? Has he ever done that to you?
He's brought it up at as an example.
As an example about a nail. It's he's like, are you asking? And that's always our trigger of are you asking me to come in here and fix this for you?
Right.
Or do you just want me to listen? And the fact that he has the humility in him to be able to just care enough to ask that question is wonderful, because he's not trying to he has no agenda. He's just trying to be there for me in that moment. So that would be an example.
That's a great point. And I think that points out what I was asking. It's we need to know, is it the nail or is it not?
Right.
Can you just tell us which role do what you need me to fill right now? Do you just need me to listen?
Yeah.
Or do you want me to fix it?
Right.
And I think a lot of times we don't know our why, and maybe it's not our wives' strength to be able to identify in that moment. Hey, can you just sit down? I need to tell you this.
Yeah.
I don't think that's how you guys approach those moments, because I don't know that you know in that moment either, right?
Yeah. No, we don't.
Until somebody says, hey.
But then they ask. It's
oh, wait.
Okay, let me think about that. Oh, yeah, that's it. It's not about the nail. I just want you to hear me. And so I think what I've experienced is I have now a husband who is experiencing those fruits of the Spirit if he's patient with me. And he's gentle. He doesn't try and fix me. He's exhibiting the fruits of the Spirit in ways that I don't think he realizes he is. He's just being obedient to what Christ is calling him to do. And I feel protected and safe in that.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen that change in him in the last 8-12 months.
Yeah.
I know you use the example of from before we were saved to now.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen those changes in the last, even greater strides in the last 12 months, last year. Yeah.
I mean, I would say before, I see where you were. There is, and I think I would say before the year, I would hear him say a lot, and I don't think he would care if I said this, but I would hear him say a lot.
If he does, we'll just cut it out.
I would hear him say,
I'm keeping it.
I don't hear God. God doesn't talk to me. I don't know what, he would just kind of banter with me. I don't know what you're always saying. God speaks this to your heart. And he's like, I just pray and I just throw it up there and nothing happens. And he just kind of throws up his hands of nothing. Well, I would say in the last, like you said, 8 to 12 months, he's had this intimate experience with the Lord where he's like, no, I see how he's speaking to me. And a lot of it is through you, Joe, and the men at Forge, and through the men that he surrounds him with, that allow him to be like, oh yeah, God does speak to me. It's just maybe not in the way that he's speaking to you, Taffee, but speaking to me in this way. Yeah. So I think the intimacy and friendship with Jesus has grown deeper for him.
Can you pinpoint a time that a moment where, because I think I can.
I bet ours is the same. I think it was the prayer time for me. When you guys had that prayer, and he had
Steve, Chris, and I, or Jordan.
Yes, Steve, Chris, Jordan.
Okay.
Yes, when you guys had that prayer.
Yeah.
And I remember him coming home so jazzed of realizing, oh, I do have a place.
Right.
It may not be the way that Joe prays or
Right.
the way that Steve prays, but I have a place,
Right.
and this is it. And he had that confirmation from the Lord.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same. I think it was a week or two before that. There was something else he did that I recognized him. Like he was negating something. I said, but his coordination ability, his ability to bring things together, his ability to see 10 people and understand their gifts, and then to
Bring it
corral
together.
that, and almost like a gift, like an administrative gift.
Yeah.
I don't know that would be it for him. I have no idea, but and then that led into that, and then your conversation with Meg about that. Like, I think so too. I think it goes to identity. It goes to seeing ourselves the way God created us and the way He's calling us into service.
Yeah.
And he saw that, and the light bulb went on.
Yeah. And I think, and from what Chris had said, it sounded like that was something that you had spoken into him about. And so he was able to receive that, and knowing like, oh, like God probably put that on your heart to share. And like it blessed him in such a huge way to strengthen his faith. And that right there is exactly why, we go back to that conversation of why should a husband want to join Forge right there. It's going to strengthen your faith. It's going to bring people to you that are going to allow you to hear from the Lord in ways that maybe you wouldn't if you're just like not in community. Right. So, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for listening to the Forge Podcast.